So hello, Miro magazine readers, yes. My name's Jack Glanville, and I'm here in Taunton in Somerset at the Apple FM studio with Mr. Jason Freeman. Hello.
Hello, Jack.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming for the interview. Well, I say coming. Thank you for letting us do the interview.
No problem. It's
with you.
Good to talk to you.
So, Jason, firstly, what is your role? What are your several roles here at Apple FM?
Wow. Okay. Several roles. Well, the main crux one is I am the managing director for the community interest company, which is behind Apple FM. We were a registered charity. We have been for 40 plus years since we started a radio service here at Musgrove Park in 1971. We were a charity right up until last year when we incorporated a community interest company to kind of umbrella the organisation. We couldn't run a community station as a charity, so we had to set up a company, limited by guarantee. So I'm the head honcho. I'm the one that's in charge and makes the final decisions and things like that. And then I'm in charge of programming, which is another big responsibility. I do that with my deputy, Ross Marchant. He looks after a lot of our online sort of schedules and working around who's going to cover shows and things like that. So it's quite a sort of a team effort, as it were. So that's my two major roles here.
So you got quite a busy schedule here.
Yeah.
Normally. And what made you first get involved here at Apple FM?
I'd always had a love of radio, having done hospital radio in the past. Back in 1996, 97, I was at a hospital radio station in Devon, and really enjoyed that. And I'd always had a thing for entertaining. My mum had always said, you haven't got the face for telly, which was quite cruel, really. She said, but why not try radio? And do you know what? I always had this nervous disposition about getting up on stage in front of people.
Okay.
And being able to see the people in front of me. I was very conscious of my appearance, how I was standing, how I appeared to people. Whereas in radio, all you see is the control desk in front of you and the computer screens and the microphones. You don't see what people's reactions are to what you've said. So you just continue going. And I think maybe that's why I kind of stuck with radio all this time.
So what in your day-to-day sort of, if you give me a day in the life of Jason at Apple FM, what is it you normally have to do on a day?
Well, my day starts at 5 a.m, which is rather early. It starts by getting up and having the first cup of many cups of coffee in the morning, and then usual routines at home, and I'm normally in the studio by about 6:30 in the morning, ready for on air at 7. We've normally, the day before, I've normally looked at things, items for content, so our talking points that we do quite well, and usually as well, coming in on the bus in the morning, I've got a chance to go through all the different news sites and think, this is going to be an interesting topic, what would the people of Taunton like to talk about? And the show's been designed that it really doesn't take a lot of work, because of all the other jobs I've got. It needed to be that kind of show that can be done as it goes along, without a lot of planning and preparation involved. So that's why the show was designed, when we had a recent change around of things, that we would have very easy to use, very simple features, but very effective, I think, as well. Okay. And then we come off air at 10. And then the rest of the day is spent answering emails, chasing up guests to come on the station, not just for my shows but for other shows as well. And then the other side of my job is trying to encourage people to spend money with us as advertisers. So my day, although I might not be here in the building, my day then continues at home with looking at people who may wish to sponsor us or buy advertising time with us. So pretty much full-on day, which kind of ends around 1 o'clock, and then I tend to have time for me before I go off and do my evening job, which finishes at 2 o'clock in the morning.
So pretty hectic.
Pretty hectic day, yeah. But community radio doesn't pay at the moment. It doesn't. There's no money in local radio to pay people. So at this moment in time, most of us here are volunteers and have to do day jobs as well. So.
Yeah. on the side. So it's a big commitment.
Yeah, I think so.
It's definitely got dedication.
I think you need to have, if you want to get into the radio industry, you need to be dedicated and you need to be prepared to work for free before you get your goal job, your dream job. And I always dreamed of being the Radio 1 breakfast host. I'm far too old for that now. I'm older than Chris Moyles, so, well, just as old as Chris Moyles was. So I don't think I'd ever get to host Radio 1. Maybe Radio 2 when Chris Evans decides he's too old to broadcast there. But you never know.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of being here at Apple FM?
I think one of the most rewarding parts is when you get that interaction from the listener, that they're on the same wavelength as you, or they've messaged in to say, "Oh, I really laughed at that, thank you. I was having a bad day. You've made my day really good." Or other comments we get is, "Oh, thanks for a really good start to the day," and that puts me in a really good mood.
Yeah.
I always try to come to work in a good mood, and I always try to portray that on air, that I'm having a good time, even if something's getting to me personally. I try not to let that show on air, and I always enjoy that interaction with the listeners when they come in and go, "Oh, I really enjoyed that, you made me laugh." And the conversations are carrying on. I mean, the conversations we were having on air in breakfast this morning are continuing on Facebook and Twitter, and I think you need to interact with your listener throughout the day, not just during your show. I think that's an important thing as well.
Okay. So, like, building up relationships with your listenership.
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
It's not expecting them to be there and listen. It's giving them a reason to listen.
Okay, I like that. And if one last parting bit of advice, if you were to give to somebody who was looking to go into radio, or was considering doing radio as a volunteer or as a career.
As I've said, I think you need dedication. That's really important. You need to be focused, and you need to have that passion. You need to have that want. You need to have that desire, and you need to be a good people person. In my opinion, when I'm interviewing someone to take on a volunteer role with our membership secretary, I'm looking for that person that stands out. That person that's got a bit of spark in their appearance, in their personality. Someone that is a little bit quirky, maybe a little bit different. Someone that's going to grab the listener's attention. So if you're that person, and you're in the Taunton and Somerset area, and you want to have a go, then just get in touch with us and we'll see what we can do. Yeah,
there's you can find all the details on the Apple FM website. It's www.applefm.co.uk. You can also use that to tune in to Jason and myself doing the breakfast show from 7 till 10 weekday mornings. Tune into that.
Yeah, make sure you do.
Nice little plug there. So Jason, thank you very much for having me for the interview. Thank you, Miro Magazine readers, for tuning in. Thank you.